TTT THROWDOWN!
Welcome to the Throwdown. That was previously recorded live at CrossFit Advanced.
This week's demo athletes are a mother-daughter pair, Tracy and Michaela O'Connell.
This week's Throwdown is a 20-minute AMRAP of a 300-meter row, 20 alternating dumbbell hang snatches, and a 50-foot single dumbbell overhead walking lunge. What's happening?
Kelly's dead.
Put him back so he can say his line.
What's gonna be a spicy one?
Our fourth annual Super Summer Sizzler is right around the corner, and this year we are switching things up with a partner competition. The workouts will be released on July 15th, and the competition, which is completely free to you, by the way, will take place on August 1st through the 4th. Go ahead and grab your partner and sign up now at trainingthinktank.com/Sizzler.
Michaela O'Connell, CrossFit Advanced and TTT demo. I work with Karen Band.
Cheese.
Hi, my name is Tracy O'Connell. I'm a Masters athlete and TTT Masters athlete. I work with Karen Band, and this is in Easton, Pennsylvania at CrossFit Advanced. And this is my daughter, and she's going to take my breath.
Our first mom-daughter duo.
That's
Solid.
awesome.
And we're off. Oh, that was quick from intro to go. 300-meter row to begin.
And we have others doing it on the left side of your screen.
whole
I love
crew.
that this is a mother-daughter thing.
Yeah.
This is super cool.
Yeah.
I hope my kids will do it with me one day.
I don't. Yeah, never mind. I'm gonna pull that back.
Just leave it alone, Max.
Don't start, Max.
Yeah, sorry.
This is bringing flashbacks of the 20-minute AMRAP open workout this year. Obviously, the movements are different, but 20 minutes and then 300-meter row mixed with some movements that most people can kind of move pretty fast. So you got to think about your pacing the first round. You can't go out too hot, otherwise you're going to blow up halfway through.
I think a lot of people were maybe like 5K pace or a little faster in that open workout, so probably pretty similar.
Right.
I do think this one will be, well, I mean, maybe for a bigger athlete, this one will be easier because there's no jumping
That's
from
true.
the double unders, and it's just moving the weight. But I think cycling the dumbbell, you're going to be under tension for most people doing 20 unbroken and the lunge in between every row. So it's going to be a pretty nasty combo of like your heart rate getting smashed by the row and then your blood pressure going up from continually moving weight in the rest period.
It could also get grippy, maybe, because the
Oh, yeah.
overhead lunge, I think, especially if you struggle in that position, you have to kind of hold on to the dumbbell a little tight.
115. Ooh, she's moving that dumbbell fast.
Yeah,
That's
she
good
is.
cycle speed.
If you can maintain that, that is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be a big separation. She was 115 on the first row, so it gives a little bit of context. And I would imagine if she's moving it at that speed, she's going unbroken here. Tracy's going pretty fast there as well. But it shows just a little bit of how much you can make up if you go unbroken anyways. If you go fast, you can make up really like 2-to-1 reps.
Yeah.
They have two different styles here. Michaela's doing like almost like a kettlebell swing. Like her elbow's barely bending as she's bringing the dumbbell up, and then Tracy's keeping it closer and like punching overhead.
I actually like the kettlebell swing. As long as the dumbbell's below 50 pounds for me, it feels more comfortable and I can keep a faster pace. I feel like I don't blow my grip up as much.
What if it is 50
If it,
pounds?
yeah, like doing like a 50 pounds and below. Yeah. Doing like a hang snatch with a 70 pound, that becomes pretty hard to swing it all the way out and get it overhead.
So this setup, I'd be a little nervous submitting that lunge positioning into a video review because her hand is touching the dumbbell. It might be okay, or the
Head of the dumbbell.
Yeah, the head of the dumbbell. It might be okay, but that standard was a little fuzzy the year that it came out.
Yeah, so it just might be maybe like not a no rep, but something to be careful of in the future, just trying to be a little bit more on the handle.
You're saying you have to hold just the handle
Your
part?
handle has to, yeah. But now with that said, it is nice to have the head resting up against kind of like the meat of your palm. So finding a position that looks very clear that you're holding fully onto the handle, but the head is still resting on the meat of your palm will make it a little bit easier for you to maintain.
So what's
that.
the standard for people doing it this week?
You need to hold onto the handle completely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she was 2:30. Michaela was 2:30 to finish her round, and Tracy was 3 minutes ish to finish her round. So that means basically like 8-round pace would be maintaining it all the way for Michaela. That'd be pretty impressive if she could do that. I mean, that was fast movements in between the rows.
Well, I mean, you already talked about the importance of movement speed, and we talk about that anytime we're on a throwdown. Those that can move fast and efficiently, you're getting so far ahead in the first couple of rounds. Now, the one drawback to that is if you're blowing yourself up. So if the only way you can move fast is to hold your breath or to like put out a ton of power, then it's probably better to go at a little smoother pace, especially in these 20-minute workouts. So you need to find what type of athlete you are, and if it means that you're going a little bit slower on one movement so you can sustain that pace across the 20 minutes, that's going to be a better idea or a better strategy for you than going fast at the beginning.
So she did row at exactly the same pace there in round 2 as she did in round 1. So we'll see if she can maintain those 115
She's a really good
paces.
rower too. Yeah, I've seen some of her scores, and she's super powerful. She's good on the row. I think most female athletes, Mia, what were you holding, or what were athletes holding on the 300 meters? How long do you know?
How long did it take?
Yeah, like 122
I don't
to
remember. I just
maybe.
remember it being like about 5K pace or
Yeah.
a little faster for most athletes.
Can somebody actually, you know what? I'm going to do it. So you guys carry the conversation. I want to see what pace 300 meter is for 115 to finish.
Do
All
it.
right.
Do it. How are you going to do that? Actually, walk us through the
C2,
math.
I'm going to open the C2
Go to the app.
calculator.
You have to
she
do it on
did
your calculator.
a great job of transitioning directly into the lunge. If you aren't able to do that, I would recommend maybe putting the dumbbell down 1 to 4 reps before you get to 20 so that you're not doing an extra rep to get it back overhead, kind of like a DT style transition.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite tips, especially with something like a DT where you know you're going to have to go overhead or even do a hang
Right.
clean. Like drop 1 rep before you finish your deadlift and then pick it back up. Same thing here.
All right. So 115, 300 meter is a 205 pace.
Okay.
So that makes
I would
sense.
say
That's
it's
about a
appropriate.
5K pace for a lot of elite athletes, or maybe a little faster. A 5K pace?
I think that's,
Pretty accurate?
yeah.
And you got to keep in mind, you're ramping it up every single time. So you're getting back on the row, and then you have to ramp up. So your first 5 or 6 seconds may not be actually at that 205 pace. So she's probably going a little bit faster than that.
Difference too in lunges. So now that Tracy is lunging, you can kind of see that she steps and comes back with her feet together. Tracy also is a masters athlete who's multi-time games athlete. So
Yeah,
this is
very
about
high level.
as fast as you would see a masters athlete be able to turn over in this. But you see the difference in just the speed of walking when Michaela picks up and can kind of swing through step. So again, movement speed when you start to get into these higher level of competition starts to become more and more of a separation. Whereas if you're maybe an intermediate or RX level athlete, it's not really about how fast you move. It's more about minimizing your rest and maintaining your pace through the whole workout. So
Have we explained how strong Michaela is so people have context of how well she's moving that dumbbell?
I don't know if we've mentioned how strong she is.
How strong?
How strong is she?
She's very strong.
Yeah, we would need a parent for some more data to tell us how strong. But
I wonder
But her specialty as an athlete is strength.
Totally.
if you're looking for a CrossFit gym in this area and you pop up the map, are you like, ooh, I don't know if I'm ready for that advanced one?
CrossFit beginner.
I'm going to start CrossFit Beginner. Yeah, that's going to be the name of my personal CrossFit.
She's still moving the dumbbell really well. I think that's just her natural cadence. She's so powerful that she can pop it up overhead quickly.
Yeah, I mean, to be able to maintain that and maintain your row pace, we're already almost 7 minutes into the workout, so a little over a third of the way there, and she's still maintaining speed. I'd say that's probably a really good sign, but I think the real key place in a workout that's 20 minutes long where elite separation happens is somewhere between like 10 and 15. It's almost that like that third lap.
The danger
Yeah,
zone.
yeah.
That's a good call there.
I live in the danger zone.
3 minutes in, danger.
Yeah, 90 seconds into my Metcon, I hit danger.
All right, one thing that she did well last time is she just kept the dumbbell overhead and it was a quick switch. Would you guys recommend now? See, this is where
Yeah.
So how big of a difference is that going to make, do you think? If she went and redid this workout with the proper standard, how much is that impacting?
I
wouldn't
think
make
she
a
would
difference.
get
Well,
the sa-
it's an overhead position thing. Like, can she get into that position and move as comfortably with her hand fully on the dumbbell? Because it does put more stress on the shoulders and the upper back.
Yeah.
I think she can, just based off of watching how she's been moving. But for someone who is limited overhead, it is a lot easier to
Now-
do it the way that she just did
Is
it.
this on us,
versus-
or is this on they just didn't read your standards, or you forgot to put the standards?
I mean, the standards come out after they do the video. We talked.
yeah, that's on us.
No,
So
I
we
mean,
couldn't just do them a favor and just change the standards?
No, and this isn't anything.
Sorry,
on
you're already
them, but-
disqualified.
Yeah, we're gonna
It's
allow
just-
your
it-
scoring, but we would also say that
we
that
got
was
to get
no
it
route.
together.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna say, Mia?
I was just going to say that's not a way that I would want people practicing that movement. So it's on us. It's not on Michaela.
Tracy there is holding it, though. She's full gripped. She's kind of like how Michaela was in the beginning, where it's full grip, but it's still tilted vertically, so it's kind of resting on the outside of the pinky. I think if you can organize yourself that way, it seems like that's the most common elite holding position for single arm dumbbell overhead lunge.
So she does the same thing. She switches it overhead. I think if you can do that easily, there's no issues, no pressure on your shoulders. That's the fastest way instead of bringing it back down. But some people struggle switching from like left hand to right hand to left hand. And if that's you, just bring it down quickly and then hang snatch it back up, because then you can stack it correctly as opposed to like bobbling it all over the place and having extra time under tension overhead.
Yeah, it's better to have it in a good position while you're lunging versus save half a second at that turnaround and then slow your lunge down probably 2 to 3 seconds because you're stutter stepping because the weight's not in the right spot.
Yeah. Man, so this next round, we're halfway into the workout. Still doesn't look like there's any deterioration in speed here. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. If she can keep this speed, really the only place that she'd be able to speed up is probably on the row.
Yeah.
But then that gets really hard. I mean, the difference in a 2:05 pace and a 2-minute pace is like exponential in a workout like this. So I think she's executing it really well. We'll see, Max, to your point, in that like maybe 12 to 17-minute range. Does it slow down, or is she able to maintain that?
Yeah. But also, if you are able to maintain 5 seconds faster per row for 300 meters for 8 rounds, it does end up being like 30 seconds of work, which is pretty substantial when you start talking about elite leaderboards.
Right.
From my level of leaderboard, maybe not as much.
All right, so see, switch overhead again. We already talked about the grip, but I mean, that switch is super smooth. And so if you have the ability to do that, that just, it speeds you up by 2 or 3 seconds instead of having to bring it down every time and then bring it back up.
I also will shout out that she's wearing an octopus shirt. So
Yeah, but the
that's
tag's out. The tag's out.
That's okay. She's been supporting
Tag's
the
out.
octopus.
Tag's out.
Yeah, that means she's been supporting for a while.
Or it's a hand-me-down from mom.
That's true. Transitions here, they still look pretty good. It's taking her about 5-ish seconds to put the dumbbell down, get in, and get her first legit pull on the rower. There might be a tiny bit of like speed that you can make up there, but I don't think it's worth it overall in the workout.
Yeah, it's important getting into the row quickly. In the middle of the workout, if you start pulling too fast too soon, it can blow you up.
Yeah, because it's a 20-minute workout.
Right.
It's not an 8-minute workout.
Tracy's also doing a great job with all her transitions. That was probably her longest one to the dumbbell, but still she's doing a really good job being deliberate. I talk about this every week, how important it is practicing transition. So like just forcing yourself to the next movement. When you're switching a movement from row to hang snatch, from hang snatch to the lunge, just go quickly into it. And then if you need a break in the movement, that's when you want to settle into a pace.
At what level? So I think so far Michaela's done every set unbroken. Tracy's done every set unbroken. At what level do you think it actually makes sense to put breaks in, either in the set of 20 or lunge one way down, put it down, and then pick it back up and lunge back? Do you think that you could be a quarterfinal level qualifier with
Totally.
that?
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I think most people that are probably bubble, or let's say 10% to 25%, you probably should build in breaks on both the hang snatch and on the lunge at the halfway point. Maybe you do 10 really fast, take a quick breath, do 10, and then 25 feet, take a quick break, do 25 feet, and just keep your rhythm that way. And then the practice is, can I keep my rounds the same with those built-in breaks, as opposed to trying to go too fast in the beginning, banking time, and then dropping off.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, so these athletes are making this look very easy, and I think that can sometimes throw people off. Another option could be do 19 hang snatches in a row, put it down, and then do your final one and lunge and make the dumbbell as 2 distinct separate movements with a little break in there. But I think if you're not at the level of conditioning where you can hammer for 20 minutes straight, you have to be thinking about this as, where is the smart place to break? Because the row is basically, there is no place to break. You're either going slower or you're holding your pace. You could go unbroken on the dumbbell and then row slower, but I think that would probably net most people a worse score than keeping your row pace and putting a little bit of breaks in the dumbbell.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what's funny? What people's non-working arms are when you're doing like
I
a
was just
hard
thinking
overhead movement.
Yeah.
Like when I do single arm dumbbell overhead squat. Yeah.
Yeah.
My other arm is like pointed straight up. Like what am I doing?
Yeah.
Or you're over there drinking your pink Stanley.
Or that, yeah.
The pink Stanley Cup.
I think I see a Stanley Cup back here.
There's
Yeah.
two of them.
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
two? Or just is one
those
and
could
then
be
something else?
clear.
Where
Are
are we
those
looking?
clear Starbucks cups though?
Yeah, they could be off-brand.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh,
How dare
gosh.
they?
Oh man, I didn't see when she got on the row. I wanted to see if she was still at 115
Way
paces.
to go,
yeah.
Max.
I'm gonna
I
run
had
it.
one job.
Should I run it back?
No, it's all right. I'll get it in the next one. There's still plenty of time.
She still looks really smooth. Her stroke rate staying pretty similar. You see Tracy's pulling a little bit harder with her arms, whereas Michaela looks like she's driving a little bit more aggressively with her legs.
Yeah. The other thing too to notice with them is I think they're at different stroke rates. Seems like Tracy's trying to be a little bit more powerful, and she like has that little pause before she goes back into her catch phase, whereas Michaela's just kind of like in and out more. That's a strategy you can use to kind of still hold a fast pace, but almost get a little bit of a break in between each pull. But Tracy's probably rowing. I'll try to get both of their splits on the next one, but she's probably rowing 5 to 15 seconds per 500 slower than Michaela is.
So this is a interesting. She comes off and takes. That was probably what, like a 5 to 7 second
It was
break.
10 seconds. I just
Do you think it would be better to row 5 seconds slower?
And
Or-
just transition immediately.
Yeah. I guess
I
it
don't know.
depends on the athlete.
Yeah.
She
I
was
like
doing that earlier.
Yeah, I like rest in between movements, so I'd rather.
I know you do.
Yeah, true, true. Good point.
But yeah, it's two different strategies. I don't think one is necessarily better than the other. It's just what works best for the athlete.
Yeah, and figuring out too when you're really under fatigue, what allows you to keep your work rate high. Because I
Right.
think if you transition quick, but you're just kind of sloppily throwing the dumbbell, it's
Yeah.
not really worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
But-
Tracy's taking a break now. I don't know how many that was.
I think
but
that's smart. Her speed on those
Slowing down.
was a lot slower than before. And I think athletes can, if you can do like 4 sets of 5 really fast and just take a 3-second break, that's probably better than adding a 1-second pause overhead on each rep.
I agree with that. But again, this is what we talked about, where this kind of time is where there's a lot of separation.
They're in the danger
Yeah.
zone. Well, they just got out of it, right?
Well,
I'd say
I mean,
12 to 17.
Yeah, 17. Yeah, 17.
It goes a little beyond 15.
All right, so non-working hand. Michaela's got the hand out in front.
I thought she was feeling her rib earlier.
Yeah.
I'm out of breath.
Tracy's more natural. Although now it's getting stiff.
Yeah.
Every step. Oh, yep.
Man, the big, when athletes can kind of see the line at the end and take the big step to cross it over, it's impressive that they're making that calculation really quick and taking those big steps to get over the line.
Easy with one dumbbell for most strong athletes, but when you have 2 dumbbells or if you're in a front rack with something heavy, then you may just be better off taking an extra step there instead of reaching and then still getting a no rep because your heel's on the line.
I'd
So
also
that's
be careful when you finish over the line. Make sure that you're completely locked out with the dumbbells still overhead, because that's something you would get a penalty for.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little bit slower there with the transition. It was about 10 seconds from dumbbell down to getting on, but she got on at 16:15, and Tracy is starting 16:30. So we'll get exact splits on this to see if they're holding their paces.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. Just let's watch them row, fill in the space until they're done.
Stroke rates are pretty similar to last time. They both have the same, or they're using their same techniques as last time. Tracy's a little bit more pulling with the arms. Michaela's a little bit lower body.
This looks like a very nice gym.
Yeah, it does. I think too. Sorry, my squirrel brain took over and went back to the workout.
That's okay. I was just filling the time.
When you're at this time, if you know that the first round took 2:30, you're pretty much on your last round or your last round plus a little bit afterwards. In this type of a workout, knowing where you are and where you're going to finish and whether or not you can sprint on the last row, again, can create a lot of separation if you time your kick appropriately. So there is a little bit of strategy that can happen in these last couple minutes to say, okay, I'm going to try to finish the next row or something like that to give yourself a target to try to kick for.
Yeah, being aware of that when you're messed up in a workout is really tough, but it's worth practicing in the throwdown like this.
Yeah. So Michaela was right on pace there for 1:15. The difference here, though, is it was a 10-second transition on it and a 10-second transition off of it. So she's holding the same work rate all the way through the workout, but the rests are getting a little bit longer. And Tracy there was off in about 120.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're holding
she's
good row
holding
paces.
almost the same exact pace. It's really just the
transitions.
mixed work, transitions, like that's where the separation is. Michaela's speed maybe has dropped a tiny bit, but for how deep she is in the workout, if she's done 20 and this is round 7 or 8, that's already over 140 dumbbell snatches. For them to move like that is a high level of fitness.
Yeah, and her pace is actually still pretty fast. She's less than 2 seconds a rep, which is kind of ideal for a higher level athlete with a hang snatch or a power snatch.
Man, and right into the lunges.
And this is when she realizes
She's
I'm
finishing on the rower.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate when it's meters.
What's the distinction every 10 on the scoreboard?
Yeah, they'll be able to put it in the when you calculate your score. You go to the row, and it'll actually allow you to put in the meters.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
So it'll separate exactly.
Do rollovers count?
Get out of here with that.
No rollovers. So
No.
right when it says. So
Yeah. It
look,
says,
I'm
you gotta
just
know
saying
it.
so people know.
No, you got to
They
know.
can read the standards.
Okay, sorry. Excuse
That
me.
we didn't send to our demo.
I was gonna say.
And you've got a minute. Have fun.
53 seconds to hammer this. I wonder if she'll sprint it. Come on. Pull that thing.
You
Pull.
got to. Yeah.
Pull.
And then Tracy's going to have some time on the rower as well, but she's going to have a more enjoyable amount of time.
Yeah, she'll be able to full sprint it.
Yeah.
What's the person who sits at the front of the rower and screms out something? I wanted to say
it
it's like a
called?
coccyx,
Yeah,
but that's it.
no.
It is something like that?
It's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, whatever. I wanted to be that person for her, but she can't hear me because this is in the past.
Wow. Trippy.
20 seconds.
All right.
Oh, good transition.
So
on.
finishing on a rower, I think the thing to focus on is your stroke rate, getting your hands back quickly. It's not so much about good row technique. It's about returning the handle fast and just getting everything you can out of it, which Tracy is doing.
Yeah, Tracy's full sprinting there. That was a good kick. Good finish. Very well executed. These are my least favorite workouts in the CrossFit sphere.
Well done.
Good job.
Nice work.
It's a wrap, you know what I'm saying? Your boy Project Pata in this thing, man. Hey, look, man, thank y'all for watching Training Think Tank's YouTube channel. Y'all hit that motherfucking subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? So y'all go ahead, man. Thank y'all for watching the channel, you know what I'm saying? Hit that motherfucking subscribe button. Let it be known, let it be known, let it be known, you know what I'm saying? Pata.